Hi everyone, and welcome to FirstandCedar Knitting. My name is Megan, and if you're new here, this is a podcast where I talk about what I'm making, mostly knitting, but there's also going to be quite a bit of crochet in this episode, which I'm really excited about. I am so glad you're here. It's been a while since I've done a regular episode, probably about a month. I did a little mini episode not that long ago where I talked about a couple of things, but I didn't do a full run through of my normal knitting podcast setup where I talk about what I'm wearing, finished items, works in progress, and then acquisitions and future plans. Like that's the main setup for most podcasts. So this is the first regular knitting episode in a while, and I am excited to be here. We've had a very busy time since the last time we talked. We all got sick with strep twice. We all got it about a month ago, did a round of antibiotics, started feeling better, went back to living our normal lives, and then we all came down with it again. My husband is the last one to get it. He's at the doctor's now, so we'll find out if he's getting a second round of it or if it's something else that's ailing him. We also climbed Mount Fuji, which is one of the bucket list items that we had on our list before leaving Japan to go back home, and very excited to have accomplished that. It was quite the feat, not only doing the trip, but then also managing our children while we were gone for a full day. But totally worth it. Everything worked out great. We also had a trip to Okinawa, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end and share some photos if you want to stick around to the end. But let's get going with the podcast. First off, we're going to start with what I'm wearing. I once again am wearing my faux button band tee. I absolutely love this shirt. It's still very hot here in Japan. It is September 17th today, so we're halfway through September and we're barely starting to get that, like, it's not boiling hot out, it's just hot, but it's still very hot and humid. In the evenings you can sort of feel the tiniest of breezes in the air that's cold. So I've been wearing this a lot. This is made in a light fingering weight cotton linen Ramie blend. It's a Japanese yarn. I have a little label here to share with you. So yeah, cotton Ramie linen. This is the DK one, but it's by Daruma. I absolutely love this yarn. It's actually on my to buy list before we leave Japan. I want to get another shirt quantity in this same white. They also have like a really pretty khaki tan that I want to get a shirts quantity in, because even if I don't knit it now, I'm going to want to knit it next summer, and I might as well just take it with me and ship with all of our household goods when they go. But yeah, I made this one. It's just a raglan construction, nice and deep sleeves to allow air motion flowing through. I did not, with as small a gauge it is, I didn't want to knit this flat, but I wanted a little something extra, so I did a faux button band with some purl bumps here, and I put buttons on it and absolutely love it. It's got a little split hem. I wear it with leggings, and it makes my leggings feel like I'm a little bit more dressed up and put together. I wear it with my jean shorts, and a lot of people talk about their summer knits and they're like, oh, I won't wear them later in the fall. And I'm like, I wear t-shirts in the winter, in the dead of winter, and then chuck stuff over it. So I will probably wear this in winter, in the middle of it. With the heating that we have in our house, it should work fine, and it will be a staple. And then I'll just check a cardigan on over it and go from there. And I might buy 2 shirt quantities and make one without the buttons and just have it be more of a t-shirt style. So that is what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing. Our next section, and I'm gonna pause the video to restart it for uploading purposes. It makes it easier for me. And coming up will be our works in progress, which is gonna be a long one, so buckle up. Okay, I'm gonna scoot up as much as I can and kind of sit over here. Works in progress. First of all, I'm gonna update you on, sorry about the crinkling, projects that you have already seen. So we're gonna start with my What the Mohair experiment. I really need to get going on this one and give you guys a second half of the video so I can start wearing it this fall. So I have never knit a mohair garment. This is my first one that has mohair in it. Mohair has taken the knitting community by storm. I live back at home, I live in Denver, Colorado. Before that, I lived in the DC area, and before that, I lived in the 4 states corner of Missouri, down near where all the 4 states meet. And so I don't, having lived in these climates, and then these last 2 years living here in Japan, they don't get frigidly cold. And so I don't know if mohair is really something that's going to be useful in my wardrobe, so I haven't incorporated it. It also increases the cost of your making of your garment. It kind of doubles it. So instead of just buying a DK weight yarn, you're buying a fingering weight plus a mohair. So you're buying 2 strands. Some people love it and they wear it and they make everything with mohair in it, and they just are absolutely like, people love it, and that's fine. I just don't think I live in a climate in which it would work. So I will do a link to the video, but I did the first half of an episode where I talk about knitting with mohair and what the whole ordeal is, and I haven't made much progress. I did take this with me on my Mount Fuji trip, and I think I added a couple of rounds. I was so exhausted, but we had a bus ride, and so I did work on this, just the tiniest of bits, but I felt like I needed to bring it back up. I tried my hand at hand dyeing, so I have a yarn that I dyed and then a mohair in these colors. I go through in the first video this whole saga of like, which yarn should I use, what colors go well together. I guess that is part of the fun of working with mohair, is that you can pair your yarn with a mohair and you get to pick the colors, and it kind of adds dimension, and you can pick your own colors. If you bought a skein of yarn online and it's not quite the right color, you can add a mohair to it to make it a color that you really love. So that's project number 1, which hasn't seen much progress. Project number 2, which I talked about in the last one, on the last episode, and also hasn't seen much progress because it's still sort of in the same spot, is another shirt made out of this yarn, but in this darker gray, and it has a lace stripe, and I'm thinking I maybe did it a little too often. It's very much turning out to be a kind of see-through-y shirt, but what I probably need to do is add a couple more inches and try it on and see how it's fitting. This one, the lace, because it is so often, and with us being sick, and I also potty trained, or I'm in the midst of potty training my youngest son, my mind just has not been able to do the lace on this, and it's not a hard lace. It just changes from round to round, and so you've got to pay attention to your knitting, and I just have not had the mental bandwidth to work on this. So it's still in the works, and I've got, again, the yarn band for it. So yes, that one lives in this little orange project bag. This is actually a little lunch sack that I bought at 3 coin here in Japan, where basically everything is 300 yen, which is about $2. So a little, and it's technically a lunch sack, so it's supposed to be for your lunch, but I use it for my knitting. It's the perfect size for a smaller project. The sweater's pretty soon going to outgrow that, and I'll need to switch some projects around to make room for it. My biggie project that I've been working on is not knit, it is crochet. I am using a fairly small hook. It's a US 3.75 millimeter, and the project is big. It is very big. It is a bedspread throw blanket summer. This one is also the same yarn as the shirt and the gray shirt, but in this case I am making a summer blanket to put on my bed when I get home. It's the black color. I can't even put it all in, but like this. This is how much progress I've made, and then this fits across at least a queen with some drape over the edge. I have enjoyed working on this so much because it's such a simple thing, and the passes are so long. It takes you so long to get across a row. It's just so mindless. It's been exactly what I've needed at this point in time. And then it's funny because every summer I tend to make a blanket, and you would think that summer you'd be like, oh, it's too hot to work on a blanket, but I actually get pretty chilly inside in air conditioning sitting here at the house. And so if I'm sitting down and not really moving around, I get cold in the AC. And so working on a blanket, and this one has been so nice because it's not a very heavy weight blanket, but it's been so nice, so mindless. So I keep having to buy more yarn to be able to complete it, and so it lives in this little basket. I have a little reel that I can maybe put up, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skeins left. They're 50-gram skeins. I've made, like I said, all of this progress. I probably will need to buy maybe 3 or 4 more, and I need to buy that before we leave in a month. So I should probably pick this up and continue working on it, but this has been seriously just so nice. I'm gonna try and put it up. This is the bottom side. Oh, it's upside down, so let's show it from the top. And it has just, this has been a lot of fun, and it's been a labor of love, and I think just it's going to look really nice draped on the bed, like a little bedspread in the summer. And it's got weight to it, which is really nice because there's cotton. It's made out of cotton, so I think it'll be a nice weighted blanket in the summer, but not, because it's airy and light, I don't think it'll be a very hot blanket in the summertime. So can also be on my bed in winter. And then this is a one-day project that is almost a finished object, but I ran out of yarn. I just need to go buy one more little skein, and I just at the store and I saw that they had it, and I almost bought it, but then I didn't. I was working on my crochet blanket and you can still kind of hear my throat. I should have brought a water with me. Focus. I was trying to go to sleep and I couldn't, and I was thinking in my head, oh, all of my kitchen towels have gotten really gross in the last couple of years since I bought them. I probably need to go through them and get rid of ones that are just kind of gross, and then buy some new ones. And I was like, ooh, why buy kitchen towels when I can make my own? So this is my kitchen towel that I designed. Found this fun little motif on the internet. I had this pink yarn, and this was like a 9:30 p.m. start of project, and I worked and did all of this. And so now I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to do the motif again at the top end of the towel, and I'm thinking I'm going to add little fringes on it and have it be this really sweet, like boho-y themed towel. And there we go, a new kitchen towel. The yarn is DK weight, and it's just 100% cotton. I actually think it's organic cotton, and it is so pretty. And I'm absolutely in love with this. So I will probably, when I go pick up my one skein that I need, so this is 3 30-gram skeins. So I'm at 90 grams of yarn in a DK weight, and I think it's like 90 something meters per skein of a cotton weight. And so I think there's going to be many more of these in my future. And the DK weight, I knitted up on I think it's a 4mm needle, and it just crocheted up really quickly. And I'm thinking I'm going to write this pattern up and take some really pretty photos of the towel. It could also be in the bathroom as a hand towel. And I've already got my idea for making a little washcloth to go with it, to either use, this isn't really my kitchen colors, but I feel like it could go okay in the bathroom to add a little bit of color to it, so it might end up in the bathroom. But so excited about this. It's still technically a work in progress because, like I said, I ran out of yarn, but I know I can get more and make that one and maybe make a few more. My kitchen doesn't really have a color scheme as of now, but when we get back home, my kitchen's brown, so I'm gonna have to pick some earthy colors that go with brown and keep making, because why not keep making my own kitchen towels. And the kitchen towel thing will come back in a minute, but my next project is actually a knitting project, and it's a new cast on, brand new. I haven't talked about it before. A while back, purchased the Linen by the Crabea, and this is the first time I've knit a drop shoulder type construction where you knit like the neck and the shoulders and go down, and then you cast on and come forward, connect and go down. And I was a little bit nervous about doing this because it's new basically, but I actually have made really good progress on this. The yarn that I'm using is Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color Putty, which I'm gonna have a bunch of white knit tees for this next summer, and I'm super excited. So I bought this a while back and I hadn't used it, and I'm hoping to have some leftovers so that I can actually swatch some crochet stitches with it to see how it works out. But right now we have the Linen tee. I have knit the back panel right here, attached my shoulders, brought them forward, did my neck increases, and connected my front. Now I just need to do the front a little deeper to be able to then connect the front and the back, and then knit in the round. And since it's a tee, I come back, I do the sleeves and the neckline. That won't take very long. I am a little worried. I don't know if you see this. The neckline is fairly low and very loosey-goosey, very summer, feeling good. So I've got a few inches from my neck, and it does kind of widen in the sides, and you can see my bra straps, but I don't really care. It's only because it's a sports bra and it sits closer in. I am a little worried that this is going to be super high necked, and it looks like that in the picture. So I kind of knew that this could happen, which is fine. We'll just wear a higher necked, but my t-shirt one currently with the ribbing comes to here. So this one's here, and then you're going to add ribbing. So it's going to be up to here, probably a smaller neckline, but we'll do it. The Knitting for Olive pure silk is knitting up just beautifully. It makes me want to buy more colors of this because I actually think I would wear, I wear my knits in the summer, and this silk is so light. It feels a little bit dry. It feels like silk should. This one feels softer. This one feels drier, a little bit rougher, but it still feels so airy and light that I think will be fine. That's how much I have left of my first ball. So I should have plenty left to do some swatching, some crochet swatching. So there is that one. That one is living in my star shaped. This was one of my test rounds. It didn't come out perfect. The corner here cuts off, but it's mine. No one knows. I guess you guys know now, but you didn't have to know. I shouldn't have said anything. So after I finished my first towel, I went back to the store and immediately picked up more yarn and did some more swatching. I found some cotton yarn in my stash and started doing another motif, which I didn't really love. It looks okay. And then I was thinking about it and I did another swatch where I moved the motif around quite a bit, and this one looks a little bit better. It's there you go, like these, it looks like flowers surrounded by double crochets. So I did that. I was just playing around with swatches, trying to figure out another kitchen towel that would look a little bit different. And sometimes you just gotta swatch all the stitches. And I wasn't loving how it was looking. And then I picked up some organic cotton yarn. This one is pretty thin. It's 428 meters per 100 grams, so it's like a light fingering. And then I did this swatch, which I really, really loved. This is a lot smaller gauge than this. And I figured out my maths, fell in love with this idea. And here we are on towel number 2. I'm gonna have the prettiest kitchen towels. This one will definitely be a kitchen one because of the color, the cream. I think it'll just make any kitchen look beautiful. And that's where I am on it. Like I said, the yarn is a light fingering and I'm using a tiny 3mm hook. This isn't my favorite. I really like the hook on this one. The head, it's got a nice deep undergrasp. This one is much, it doesn't have as deep of a under thing to actually grab the yarn, but I've adjusted, I'm working on it, I'm figuring it out. And this one I'm super excited about. I was very excited about this one. I am even more excited about this one, to the point where I'm about to go back to the store and just buy more of this yarn. Just beautiful organic cotton in a light fingering. I know Knit Picks has a cotton fingering weight yarn, which I want to try. I'm so excited about this stitch motif that I just might turn it into a crochet blanket with this motif on it. It would be so cute. A little baby blanket, throw blanket. So I'm going to need to look through my yarn stash and see if I have enough, and maybe do some gauge swatches, because this is 100% cotton. Excuse me. It is going to knit up differently than merino yarn, would. So I'll have to make some new swatches and see how they look, but I'm super excited about the possibility of a beautiful just baby blanket or throw blanket too, if you have a feminine style. And yeah, those are my works in progress. I, for the longest time, was just working on the black blanket. So most of the time that I've been away and not really doing anything, and one of the reasons why I didn't really super pressure myself to come back and do another episode was that most of my time I had only been working on one project. So I didn't have a lot to share. That changed. I recently started the Linen 4-ply t-shirt. I did the washcloths within the last couple of days, and that got me excited about some stuff. So yeah, next up, future plans and acquisitions, which I sort of already showed because this was my newest acquisition. So I'll be back. All right, and every time I stop the video, the phone falls down. So I have to reset the phone. So probably every change, it's shifting a little bit. And that's just because the phone fell down. Last but not least is acquisitions, which I don't really have anything new except for, like I said, this yarn back here. But I have future plans. I do plan on doing what I plan on knitting this fall video with the roundup of all of the warm, cozy sweaters. I'm actually going to do 2 of those. One of them is going to be what I plan on making for myself. The other one is what I'm going to plan on making for my children, because every fall into winter I make my children new sweaters because they've grown and the ones that I made them last year don't fit, and or they've gotten them dirty or ripped them, or I shrank one in the wash. So they need new sweaters every fall. So that's another video that's going to be up and coming. So not just only what my plans are for me, but also what my plans are to make as far as like children's knits. And I'm super excited to dive into new patterns, things that have come out. My daughter is 9, almost 9. She's turning 9. She's 8.5. So she's going to be turning 9 soon. And she is almost at the smallest size in some of the women's patterns that I can then sort of, because it's not going that far off the size of the pattern. Like if I had to go down a significant amount, I feel like I'd have a hard time adjusting the stitch count. But since I'm maybe just going down one size from what the smallest size is, I find that I have been able to hack a couple of patterns by either doing a looser gauge or a tighter gauge, and it comes out smaller with the smallest size, which I did last year, or I can just adjust the numbers depending on what type of a pattern it is. So that's also very exciting. Can hack those. And then the only future plan that I have, other than working on these washcloths and potentially a baby blanket with that same stitch pattern, is the Stromboli tee by Boyland Knitworks. It's a brand new pattern. It's also a tee knit in a fingering weight, and she released it at the same time that she released another one, but I like the Stromboli tee a lot. Like, it called out to me. I love texture, I love lace. The fit of that one looks really nice. So I'm super excited, and I've been watching some other podcasters, and there's a couple of them that are doing it, and I was thinking I was going to buy more of this yarn, the cotton yarn, to do it. I'm just not sure how well lace work, like all over lace work and the faux cables will look, which, looking at this, I think it'll hold the lace work well. But we're also going into winter, and I'm thinking that I might just hack the pattern to make it at least 3/4 sleeves, if not a full-length sleeve. And my options that I have for that, sorry about the crinkling, the first option is this beautiful Green Letter Day yarn that has been sitting in my stash for a little too long. The colorway is Treasure Island, and it is her sock weight. It's a 4-ply, which for lace work, it just lends itself so well. The yarn is so round and bouncy that it'll look absolutely beautiful. So I have that as an option. I have 3 skeins of it, so it would be perfect for the tea. I can do everything and then just see how much yarn I have left and how long I can manage to make the sleeves. So I have this, and then I also won a giveaway. I've never won anything in my life. I am so not lucky when it comes to giveaways. But I won a giveaway from Quince & Co. And they sent me 10 skeins? I don't know. It was a lot of yarn. But one of the colors that I picked was this beautiful, and the color's called Atola. And I think with my hair color, it would just, so pretty. And it's so soft. It is 50 grams, so it's 218 yards. It's a fingering weight. It's their turn base, which is 70% wool, 30% mulberry silk. And it won't stay skeined. Like, that's how drapey it is. The skeins just kind of fall apart. I had to redo this when I did it real tight, which I probably shouldn't have done it that tight. But I have enough to make the Stromboli tea in this one as well. And I love this color. Like, I think a cardigan in this would also be really pretty, where it would be the topmost layer and not get buried underneath. But I don't know, guys. If you have a preference on what you think the Stromboli tea would look better in, let me know in the comment section below. This is the Stromboli tea. I think is going to be my travel project. We leave to go back to the States in about a month, and we have 24 hours of travel, which I probably won't get to knit much on it because I have children I'm going to be traveling with. But once we get home, my yarn stash won't arrive to our house for quite a while. So I need a couple of projects to pack with me in my suitcase, to take with me and have readily available. And so I think I might just guessed both of these on 2 teas. I also want to see how the Linen tea ends up being, so I might like really try and work on the Linen tea in the next month and see how it fits, to see if I want to make a long sleeve version for wearing in the winter with one of these yarns. So I don't know. I need to have a couple of projects ready and packed up with all of the stuff that I need so I can take it with me and it won't get packed up with our home goods shipment that won't arrive for a few months back at home. So yeah, that is acquisitions and future plans. And let's just get into some chit chat. I haven't been watching much TV. I usually just kind of watch my podcasts about knitting. Surprise, surprise. And then I've been listening to a couple of podcasts, but they don't put out episodes very often anymore. So when I kind of get a lull on that, I tend to pick up a book. And lately I have been reading a classic. I found it on the gift library. Oh, hold on, I'm being summoned. All right, I got interrupted and I had no idea what I was talking about. Anyway, we're due to move, trying to figure all of that out, which has been busy. But before we left, we have some like things we still wanted to do here in Japan. One of them was I really wanted to hike Mount Fuji. My husband did it last summer, and my youngest was still a little bit little. I didn't feel comfortable leaving him for that long, and I wasn't in good enough shape to hike a volcano. But we did it, and here I'm gonna put some pictures. We went up. The views were not great because Fuji is known for being very cloudy in that area, and that is exactly what we got. We got rained on our way up, and it rained up at the top, but it was such a neat experience. It was a very much like, I can't believe I did that. Just really amazing. So we did that, and then we took a little family trip and we went to Okinawa, which is a separate island here in Japan. It's a little bit further south. It's about a 2-hour flight from Tokyo, and we stayed at a resort there, and we got to go snorkeling. Maybe gonna post some pictures of our family having fun and the fishes that we got to see, and just overall relaxing time. On top of those 2 big events, we also have been sick. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, my daughter got strep, then I got strep, then my toddler got strep, and then my husband got strep, and then I got strep again, and then my toddler got strep again. And my husband is at the doctor today to see if he has strep. Sorry, totally spaced out there. If he has a second one. So we will see what is going on. We just have not been able to kick it. We really need to get healthy because we have a lot coming up in the near future with our move. We also have a couple more adventures that we want to do before we leave. We want to hit up Disney Tokyo one more time to see the new area. It's the Disney Springs, and Disney Tokyo is about an hour and a half away from us. So just on the other side of Tokyo, which is really fun. We've never lived that close to a Disney thing, so we've taken advantage of that and gone several times. We've also been potty training my toddler, which is been interesting, been a lot of cleaning. So he's getting the hang of it though, so we are very excited. We've been trying to stay a little bit closer to home so that the bathroom is readily available for him as he gets the hang of that. We have a cruise planned coming up and a couple of day trips to some things that we haven't gotten to do on a touristy side of Japan. My daughter started school up again, 3rd grade. My younger one isn't old enough for school just yet, but it has been just a busy season, and we're nervous and excited for going back home, finishing up our time here, packing up this house, going back to our original house to Denver where we were before, and continuing on in our journey in life. So yeah, so if you hung around this long, I just want to thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you made it this far by doing a mountain emoji. I see a lot of people do that. I don't know if it works. I don't know if people comment, but if you did and you want to drop a little mountain emoji, feel free to do that. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm hoping to do this a lot more regularly now that we are getting healthier. Might be a little sporadic with the move, but my making doesn't stop, so I can continue to make these episodes. So, all right, enough rambling. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you again soon.